I often say, stop waiting for someone to find you, stop waiting for someone to crown you an expert, and step into your worth and share your genius online. Do you love to speak? Like you were rolling into 2020, so excited about all the different speaking engagements and live events you were hosting, and this was your year. Only to find out we had canceled events, a bunch of empty rooms, and therefore empty bank accounts. Well, let me tell you, my friend, there is such great opportunity for you to keep speaking your truth, doing what you love, impacting lives, and making money. And you know where it's happening? You guessed it. Online. So the first thing I want you to do is breathe. Breathe in with me. Breathe out. Okay. Take a look at these cancellations. It is what it is. We can't change what's happening now, and we can't change what's happening in the future. We can only change what we decide we're going to make happen today. All right, so if you are like my fiance who makes a living on touring, right, you had to quickly come up with another way to do that. And Michael has done that. He creates online shows every single weekend, and he has an audience that can't wait for them, and he monetizes them. I had a client who had 27 engagements booked at the beginning of the year. Heartbroken that they were canceled. He started a podcast, he's reaching more people, he's doing events online, and he's making money. So first I want you to breathe, and I want you to shift your mindset around a new platform, a new way of reaching people. Because here's the really good news. Everybody's online, everyone. And although, yes, you hear of Zoom fatigue and people don't want to do any more events, I'm telling you, if you offer something, if you're speaking to something I care about, I will show up because I have time and I'm online anyway. So virtual events, workshops, masterclasses, they're all there for you. All right, so that is the good news. Now, as a speaker, right, and honestly, I built Inspired Living by speaking at Lunch and Learns, right? By speaking at all these different little events that got me to the bigger events. And I remember I had this aha moment. You do not have to wait for opportunity to create an event. Oh yes, right? I often say, stop waiting for someone to find you, stop waiting for someone to crown you an expert, and step into your worth and share your genius online. The right people will find you. So think about, what are you going to talk about? What's the result you provide? Right? And how are you going to promote it and get it out there? But again, this can be going live in your Facebook groups, going live on Instagram, doing IGTV, hosting a masterclass, a webinar. There are so many opportunities for you to continue to speak. And if you love speaking, it still fuels your soul. We completely shifted from live events to virtual this year. And like you, I thought it's not going to work. Like, I'm not going to be able to make the same impact I can do in person that I can online. And to be quite honest, that was just a story I was telling myself. And I got to look at myself in the mirror and say, we're going to rewrite this story. And we have never been more successful than we are right now because we're committed to reaching out and doing what I love, which is speaking online. So about every 8 weeks, I host a masterclass in my Facebook group. You should come join me. It's Ignite Your It Factor. And I teach video, confidence, and conversion. And it fuels my soul. I absolutely love teaching, and it's impacting people's lives. So the fact that you can't do live events just means you get to shift to doing them online. And again, if you are sharing something that I care about, I'm going to show up. All right, so number one is realize that you are in control and that you don't have to wait for someone to invite you to speak. You have the opportunity with all these platforms that we have at our fingertips to speak whenever you want, right? It's so amazing what we have right now. Another tip for you is to go back to your network. You've heard it, right? Your network equals your net worth. So who do you know? Who's hosting events? Where can you go speak on someone else's summit or masterclass or webinar? Reach out and say, hey, I see that you're hosting this. I would love to speak at it. Do you have any opportunities? And don't be afraid to invest in those opportunities. I look back at one of my first speaker sponsorships was with Lisa Nichols. And Lisa is an incredible entrepreneur. And for many years, I spoke on her stage. but I had to invest first before I qualified myself, right? Proved myself that I could handle it. And I'll never forget, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna sponsor this event. I'm gonna pay to speak. And I have to tell you, that relationship not only forged new opportunities I could have never imagined, spoke on much bigger stages than I had ever imagined, but it also really helped build my brand because I was reaching a brand new audience. All right, so don't be afraid to invest in the right opportunity, online or off. All right, but go back to your network. Who do you know? Who's doing events? And just say, hey, I'd love to speak. And by the way, pay and then be willing to do it for free. All right, because when you do something for free, you're getting a new audience that you didn't have before. All right, so there's lots of opportunity there. And then the last tip I really want you to think about is, how am I showing up as a speaker? I cannot tell you, when I ran big conferences, the submissions I would get for speakers, hundreds of them. And they're like, I want to be your speaker. I'm like, great. And then I would go to their website. There's not one video of them speaking. They don't have a speaker sheet. They don't have a media kit. Like, they don't have any testimonials. I'm like, well, you seem cool, but I don't have any way to really judge whether or not you're an effective speaker or not. So you might be the best speaker ever. But if you can't show up and you can't show that you've done it, you got to put yourself together. So I still really feel a speaker sheet is very important, and a speaker sheet should have your bio, your signature topics, your references, your testimonials, right? It's this really beautiful PDF that you can send out. We have the same thing for a podcast guesting. And so again, you want to position yourself as an expert speaker because it is a crowded marketplace, right? Everyone wants to speak, everyone's hosting events. So how are you showing up? So I choose you over someone else. So positioning. Put yourself together. If you want to be a speaker, let me see you speaking. Video. Do videos on a regular basis. It's such an easy way for people to see how you're going to be on camera for their virtual summit or event. So there you go. You have so much opportunity right now, and you can do better than you've ever done by taking what you love to do in person and taking it online. So I would love to hear from you. Have you done this yet? Are you nervous about it? Please post your comments and take a quick second and share this with someone, because I want you doing what you love and making money doing it. So I want to empower you to press that share button and go send this to someone else. This is a crazy time. And the truth of the matter is, it's not going to change, right? Big events aren't going to happen for quite some time, and things are going to continue to open up slowly. I want you to understand that for everything happening in the world, there is great opportunity for those of us that are willing to seize it. That as long as you're willing to continue to put yourself out there and really serve people, right? You have an amazing vehicle to continue to do what you love, make an incredible impact, and make an income because of it. Thank you so much for watching. And remember to keep dreaming it, living it, and being it. Until next time.